What water do I drink? I only drink Wahaha.
You drink Nongfu Spring with your meals at home? That's water for the ungrateful. Stop drinking this in the future. Wow, Nongfu Spring is a bit too sweet. For now on, I'll only drink Wahaha. Who still drinks this kind of water now? Let's not drink this kind of water anymore. From now on, we'll only drink Wahaha, and when our clients come, they'll drink Wahaha too.
In a recent surge of what can be called a nationalist fervor, Chinese patriots, or known as Little Pinks, have once again unleashed their anti-Japanese sentiments. This time, they are targeting the well-known Chinese beverage company Nongfu Spring. The controversy erupted after the death of the founder of Wahaha. Wahaha is China's largest food and beverage company and a competitor of Nongfu Spring. Many nationalists began comparing products from Wahaha and Nongfu Spring. Soon they were launching verbal attacks on the founder and chairman of Nongfu Spring, Zhong Shanshan. The situation worsened when they discovered that Nongfu Spring's packaging included some Japanese elements. Critics claimed that using these elements was an act of pandering to Japan and an insult to China. Fuel was added to the fire when it was revealed that Zhong Shanshan's son holds an American citizenship. Many accused him of betrayal against the country. These caused a widespread boycott of Nongfu Spring products, which resulted in a decline in the company's daily sales by over 90%. Additionally, in the company's stock price plummeted, which saw the company lose 40 billion Hong Kong dollars in market value from March 1st to March 11. Meanwhile, it has been reported that Wahaha product sales experienced an increase of 90-fold. In response to the situation on March 11, Zhong Shanshan stepped down from his position as the legal representative on Nongfu Spring. While remaining in his role as an executive director, many consider his decision to resign during this challenging time as a strategic effort to support the company's stability. Nongfu Spring and Wahaha are both established in Hangzhou and are prominent brands in the Chinese beverage industry. From 2017 to 2022, Nongfu Spring led with a 12.2% in the bottled water market share. This was 10% ahead of Wahaha, which ranked 5th, with Zhong Shanshan topping China's Who Run Rich list. Nongfu Spring is a privately owned enterprise, whereas Wahaha, with 46% ownership to the state, is considered by media and nationalists as a national enterprise. Influenced by public opinion, many supermarkets and convenience stores quickly removed Nongfu Spring products from their shelves.
This morning, a customer walked in and asked why we were still selling Nongfu Spring mineral water. I explained to the customer. After making the purchase, they told me they wouldn't come to my shop if I continued to sell Nongfu Spring. I've taken all the Nongfu Spring off the shelves, but I don't know what to do with these goods now. Take down all the Nongfu Spring. Take this off the shelves immediately. Didn't I tell you last night? The only mineral water we're selling in our store is Wahaha.
The owner of his convenience store is replacing all the Nongfu Spring bottles in the refrigerator with Wahaha mineral water. Take all of this away. Huh? This sells quite well. Why remove it? Remove it all. Remove it all. From now on, we only sell Wahaha. Even those who are homeless and collecting empty bottles for money have a strong sense of patriotism, choosing to collect only Wahaha bottles.
Even when I'm picking up scraps, I only pick Wahaha. I haven't seen someone drinking Nongfu Spring yet, but if I ever do, I'd make them eat the bottle too.
One man was seen carrying a large sign stating only drink Wahaha in a shopping mall. Some have taken their demonstrations to the extreme by purchasing Nongfu Spring products only to pour them into toilets during live broadcast in a declaration of severance from the brand. Workers were also seen disposing of Nongfu Spring bottles into drains. Piles of the brand's products were thrown away, accumulating like mountains of waste. The acts of boycott and destruction have drawn comparison to the governmental actions of the anti-Japanese movement of the past. These comparisons raise questions among the people about whether these actions are being instigated by unseen forces. On the other hand, many have also criticized the movement, arguing that such actions are only harming themselves. They argue that all of these actions can lead to unemployment and economic problems. They question the purpose of driving foreign business from the nation, suggesting that doing so will only harm China in the long run. Political commentator King Wong believes that the campaign against Nongfu Spring is orchestrated by the Chinese Communist Party's cyberspace administration. He suggests that all instances of cyberbullying in China can be traced back to this organization. From past efforts to this day, he suggests that the CCP's effort to eliminate capitalists has never stopped. Some people believe that the CCP is using this event to shift public focus away from other recent unfavorable developments, such as the cancellation of the Premier's press conference at the National People's Congress. The exact reasons for this controversy are not clear, but the involvement of Zhong Shanshan and his brand in the major public relations issue following the death of Wahaha's founder and chairman was not expected, especially for someone known for keeping a low profile. On February 25, 2024, the beverage industry mourned the loss of Zhong Qingho to illness, as the chairman of Nongfu Spring, Zhong Shanshan, paid tribute to his friend and rival by sending a wreath but did not attend the memorial service. When discussing Zhong Qingho's passing, many marketing accounts and independent media outlets began revisiting the history between these two giants of the beverage industry. Subsequently, this led to an overflow of stories on short video platforms. One narrative detailed how Zhong Shanshan, employed by Wahaha 30 years ago, secured the rights to distribute Wahaha's nutritional drink to children in Hainan and Guangxi. But he earned his initial fortune through parallel trading, which was buying products in low-price areas to sell in high-price regions. This was a practice that led to the termination of his distribution rights to Zhong Qingho. Zhong then used his earnings to establish Nongfu Spring, becoming a competitor to Wahaha. Another story involves Nongfu Spring being embroiled in a scandal over the arsenic levels in their products, during which Zhong Qingho publicly supported Zhong. However, Zhong was accused of using a PR strategy claiming facts such as natural water is superior to purified water, putting Wahaha's purified water at a disadvantage. These rumors had labeled Zhong Shanshan as ungrateful and unethical. Once this label has been put on, it was a cue for public outrage. Starting controversies out of thin air is often the initial step in shaping and public opinion. This wave of internet sentiment has severely impacted Nongfu Spring. Nongfu Spring's official store saw a decline in sales starting February 28th, with no current possibility of recovery in sight. Following these situations, there have been complaints from distributors about the impossibility of selling Nongfu Spring products. A small convenience store owner experienced immediate repercussions, struggling with the unsold inventory of Nongfu Spring.
Many have said they will never buy Nongfu Spring again. But look, this fridge is full of Nongfu Spring. It's not that I don't want to sell Wahaha's water, it's just that I can't get any stock right now. These Nongfu Spring are all on special offer.
The company's factories was deserted, with goods piling up and employees fearing unemployment. Contrastingly, Wahaha experienced a sales surge, with reports of a 9,000% increase in 6 days. They are necessitating around-the-clock production to meet national demand. Some even claim that these events could propel Zhong Qingho's daughter, Zhongfu Li, who is also the current chairperson of Wahaha, to the status of the world's wealthiest person. In response to these challenges, Nongfu Spring's official Weibo account published an article titled "My Stories with Elder Zhong" on March 3rd, in an attempt to address this crisis. Zhong clarified that his first fortune was made in the textile business, not through Wahaha, and that he had never been paid or fired from Wahaha for parallel trading. Regarding the dispute over natural versus purified water, Nongfu Spring and Wahaha had sued each other but eventually reached an agreement. Zhong expressed his respect for Zhong, describing their relationship as something like a teacher to student while also remaining competitive. Just when it seems the situation might calm down, a new controversy emerged over Nongfu Spring's Eastern tree leaf tea drink, which featured the image of the 5-story pagoda at Tokyo's Sensoji Temple on its packaging. Critics accused Nongfu Spring of promoting Japanese culture, even misinterpreting the word farmer in the brand's name as a Japanese term, labeling it as pandering to Japanese sentiments and an insult to China. The online attacks escalated from those directed at the person in charge to insult regarding the company itself. This ultimately reignited the debate over Nongfu Spring's branding and values. Additionally, some targeted another Nongfu Spring product, Tiwu, comparing its font to that associated with Japan's controversial Yasukuni Shrine, a site that commemorates Japanese military personnel, including war criminals from the invasion of China. Even the red cap of Nongfu Spring bottles was scrutinized, with some claiming resemble the Japanese flag from the top-down view.
This photo in front of Yasukuni Shrine and this character for tea, I always feel there's something similar about them. Maybe it's just me, but this character makes people uncomfortable. And look at this pie character. It's another photo from a different angle of Yasukuni Shrine. Look at this gate. Doesn't it look like the pie character? And these petals above Yasukuni Shrine, don't they look similar to these petals? The pattern on this fan is very similar to a Japanese fan. The design of this bottle is probably intentional.
Even the red cap of Nongfu Spring bottles was scrutinized, with some claiming resemble the Japanese flag from a top-down view. This observation has also issued a warning. Those holding stock in Maotai, China's most expensive liquor brand, known for its red cap and white bottle, should consider selling their stock due to fears it could be the next target of boycotts. Further fueling the controversy, a user tested the imprint on the bottom of a Nongfu Spring bottle, claiming it closely resembles the Japanese national emblem. They further suggest that too many coincidences may indicate deliberate intentions from the company. Another nationalist criticized Nongfu Spring for not emulating Wahaha, which prints the great rivers and mountains of the motherland on its packaging. They accused Nongfu Spring for lacking patriotism and branded it as treacherous. On March 8, a 7-Eleven store in Changzhou, Jiangsu announced it would stop selling Nongfu Spring products. The notice stated, "From today onwards, the store will stop selling all products related to Nongfu Spring. We will sell products from all countries, but not from Chinese companies that pander to Japan." This statement was somewhat surprising, as 7-Eleven is an American company. The power of indoctrination is formidable, with this boycott reigniting the anti-Japanese sentiment of the Chinese people. A man from Henan carved the characters of Japan into tofu, fried them, and declared his intention to give the thoroughly bad Japanese a taste of being deep-fried. The debate over Nongfu Spring's supposed favoritism towards Japanese culture was still ongoing when an even stronger criticism targeted Zhong Shanshan. News that on his son is an American citizenship led to a lot of talk across Chinese social networks like Weibo, Baidu, and Zhihu. The online criticism towards Nongfu Spring and Zhong Shanshan escalated, moving from claims of favoring Japan and offending China to accusation of treason of the nation.
On behalf of the 1.4 billion Chinese people, I question the chairman of Nongfu Spring. Why do you eat China's food while smashing China's pot? And I ask you, does your son acquiring American citizenship count as a betrayal? If China and the USA were to go to war, would your 600 billion become bullets flying back from the US or from China back at them?
Nongfu Spring has been labeled a treacherous company by some nationalists. They criticize the company for donating 100 million yuan to Harvard University and 50 million yuan to Japan after an earthquake, but only 24,000 bottles of water valued at 20,000 yuan to earthquake victims in Gansu province, China. Particularly after revelations that Zhong Shanshan's son holds American citizenship, Nongfu Spring found itself in a predicament. These situations are apparently exacerbating Zhong's challenges amidst the already tense Sino-American relations. As China's richest man, Zhong cannot escape the political implications attributed to his status, and the public finds it difficult to understand why the son of China's wealthiest man would not hold Chinese nationality, nor the necessity of American citizenship for business operations of a large conglomerate like Nongfu Spring. The logical conclusion drawn by many is that Zhong's son prefers the United States and plans to move his assets there in the future. It has been observed that Zhong's son will take over eventually and his father is nearing retirement. This is perhaps a reason why Zhong's son to take on the US citizenship as a safeguard. And as companies expand, they may incur substantial societal cost. Should successors choose to immigrate, there is a possibility of assets being moved overseas, which can potentially leave behind unresolved domestic challenges. Recent years have witnessed multiple cases of such occurrences, with the troubled real estate company Evergrande being a notable instance. The Nongfu Spring incident has also sparked heated debates on social media platforms abroad, with many commentators likening the actions taken to the situation during the Cultural Revolution. Many online comments have criticized the Little Pinks for being malicious and irrational, damaging a successful enterprise like Nongfu Spring and affecting the livelihoods of workers in the supply chain. They question whether this constitutes a form of government-endorsed nationalism, mocking the unpredictability of such movements. They suggest that these individuals could quickly fall out of favor with the government. Zhong Shanshan, who has always maintained a low profile, faced backlash following a 2020 interview in which he criticized the Chinese government's real estate policies, which some believe has contributed to his current troubles.
你看，所有的企业家在前10年
10 years ago, basically 90% of entrepreneurs tried in the real estate market because that place could make one rich overnight, as it transferred their laborers' accumulated assets into someone's hands through the state's means. Why didn't I go into that? I believe it's because of my personality. I'm not used to flattery. I don't like dealing with people and don't like drinking, so I couldn't do real estate.
Commentator Wen Zhao has noted that it's not surprising Zhong Shanshan and Nongfu Spring to face such difficulties, given the inherent risk associated with being China's richest person. Despite Zhong's caution and lack of involvement in scandals or news related to political and financial corruption typically seen among Chinese businessmen, his continuous ranking as China's richest person on the Who Run list from 2021 to 2023 has made him a target for the CCP. Wen Zhao also reviewed the fate of Chinese richest individuals since the 1990s, noting that almost all have ended up in prison, such as business tycoon Mo Chi-zhong in the 1990s and former chairman of consumer electronics retailer Gome Group, Huang Guangyu, in the early 2000s. More recently, Alibaba's co-founder Jack Ma has kept a low profile after facing certain pressure from the authorities. Wen Zhao suggests that every decade, at least one of China's richest individuals is imprisoned or suppressed, with a 100% hit rate for those frequently topping the wealth list. Thus, the online vilification of Zhong Shanshan not surprising. According to experts, depending on the CCP's next move, these situations may potentially be foreshadowing even greater challenges ahead. Wen Zhao likens the current events in China to resurgence of the Cultural Revolution. This is marked by the undermining and destruction of indigenous culture and the portrayal of insiders as adversaries for opportunist gains. The extensive online critique of Zhong Shanshan is identified as reflective of the behaviors observed during the Cultural Revolution. Wen Zhao suggests that the current surge of criticism against these companies favors entities that benefit from increased web traffic and sales due to controversy, putting Nongfu Spring and similar entities at a disadvantage. This situation poses a risk to private entrepreneurs and well-known individuals across various sectors, potentially deterring foreign investment and causing concerns within the creative industry. The criticism for incorporating elements like the Sensoji pagoda in design, which could lead to accusations of treason, highlights a challenging environment for visual designers. Consequently, experts speculate that advertisements in the future might be limited to themes reminiscent of Cultural Revolution era propaganda, suggesting a move towards a more restrictive period. The possibility of a situation resembling the Cultural Revolution becoming clearly observable in the near future highlights worries about the return of a time characterized by intense political zeal and broad social unrest.